Yes. Yes, and thank you for having us. This is interesting. It's interesting. This is only my second time in Auburn, and it is not a fun town to drive through in the dark. It is because I drove through Weedsport. Is that where you come from? 90? Wow, wow, Weedsport. Because it was weird. I was driving and I saw this really nice house. I was like, oh, that's a really nice house for this area. Then right next to it was a double wide. I was like, oh, maybe the house wasn't as nice as I thought it was, you know? It's weird. Came from Syracuse. Syracuse is interesting as well. I didn't grow up in Syracuse. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and it was different. It was a different move. Because I wasn't expecting it to be so snowy, you know? And I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about the abundance of white folk. It's a lot of you in this area. It is. The very first big show I ever did in Syracuse was at the Palace Theater there. You guys know that place, right? Great theater. Love that place. And I was shooting the shit with the bartender before the show, right? And I told her I live in Baldwinsville. And she was like, huh, I'm familiar with Baldwinsville. I don't see a lot of Negroes in Baldwinsville. I was like, what the hell? Like, technically, she said the right thing, I guess. But she also hasn't spoken to a black person since, like, 1969 because we'd have been a couple other things since Negro, you know? Like, it's okay to call us black. And if she would have said it with a little more confidence, it wouldn't have hurt as much. If she would have been like, oh, yeah, I don't see a lot of Negroes in Baldwinsville, I would have been like, ouch. She's just ignorant, right? She didn't know any better. But she did the, what are you looking for? I'm right here. You're not supposed to say that to me. Like, what is going on here? It's crazy. It's crazy. You guys, anybody else panicking? Yeah. Yeah, nah, not me. Not me. I don't know a lot of comedians that would panic. Like, we've been through a lot. Like, this little virus isn't going to stop us now, you know? Because I work part-time at a grocery store. Yikes. Yikes. I mean, besides that, okay, I've had an entirely weird week of work. Because, like, with this virus thing, people buying up all our toilet paper, all that nonsense. But right before that, like, this is serious. One of my coworkers, his wife died. Yeah, it was really sad. She's in her 40s. They're both in their 40s, have a 9-year-old son. It's like it's terrible, right? And I'll start off by saying I'm not a religious person. I'm not. I grew up in a church, and it just never caught on to me. It's just like I don't believe in God, and that's how I leave it. Like, I don't bring that up to people. I don't preach about atheism, or I don't do that. I'll start off by saying that. So when this guy's wife died, I had to reach out to him. I was like, hey, I'm sorry to hear about your wife. My thoughts are with you. I just leave it at that. And he was like, thanks, bud. Can you send some prayers too? Like, I was just holding them back from him or something. Like, no, man, I'm sorry. I'm going to save my prayers for later. So I don't think that's how that works, you know? It's crazy. Have a girlfriend. Have a girlfriend. Hold your applause. Thank you. Yeah, we've been together going on a year and a half next month, and things are awesome. Oh, thank you. That was for the Facebook Live people. All right. It's like a studio audience. I appreciate it. No, we've been together a year and a half, and we met on Tinder. And I feel like I got really lucky because you just don't meet great things on Tinder. And yes, I said things. I did, but I love her. I knew I loved her right away, you know, because one of our early dates, we decided to stay in, watch some Netflix in bed, binge watch some comedies. And we were cuddling, you know. I was the big spoon. Thanks for asking. But we were cuddling in bed watching movies on Netflix, and a very funny part came on in a movie. And she laughed harder than I ever heard her laugh before, right? And at that moment she laughed, boom, farted clean across my leg, right? Which any other time I'd have been like, yo, this is some BS, right? Like, I gotta get the hell out of here. But it was winter time. I was like, look at my baby. Just keeping me warm. That's all she was doing. Just keeping me warm. Syracuse gets cold. You know it. Yeah. This is by far the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. We decided to like maintain the health, and she had a therapist, so we went to couples counseling, just like to talk out some things, and it was weird. I've never been to therapy at all. That was my first time was with her. Anybody here ever been to couples therapy or therapy? Yeah, that's awesome. Like therapy is great for a lot of people, but all I knew from couples therapy was the stuff you see on movies and like comedies and all that stuff. Because of course the therapist is a woman, and the woman and the therapist and the wife or the girlfriend team up against a guy because he's an asshole, right? Studio audience laughter. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. The therapist was very fair. She called out both of our BS, right? But one of my problems is communication. Like, it's weird to think about because I love speaking to you guys up here, but when I get home, I'm always in my head thinking about writing and stuff like that. And my girlfriend doesn't like that. Like, she would like for me to get those thoughts out to her. I don't think she wants to hear a lot of them, but she wants me to try, you know. And one of the situations she brought up, because the therapist asked for an example, was one time I made a meme, right? Everybody here knows what a meme is, right? Okay. If you don't know what a meme is, probably too old to be here. Go home, take a nap or something. I don't know. Anything you got to do. But I made a meme, and before I put the meme out on Instagram and Twitter, I sent it to my girlfriend, and she did not get it. She did not find it funny at all. And I was like, maybe it's not funny. And she was like, no, explain to me why it's funny. The last thing a comedian wants to do, you know? And this situation came up in therapy. But instead of like talking through it, the therapist goes, oh, let me see the meme. Not important for our development as a couple, I don't think. You know, it was a little weird. And my girlfriend, she had it ready for her for some weird reason. And the therapist looks at the meme, shakes her head, looks at me and goes, oh, I get it. It's just not funny. What? I did not pay $70 to sit here for an hour for at the end for you to tell me I'm not funny, you know? I'm a comedian. People tell me I'm not funny all the time. Like this guy, he hasn't laughed at one of my jokes all night. I'm used to people thinking I'm not funny, you know? It's crazy. And let's be honest, I'm a comedian, and my girlfriend actually paid the $70. So let's be honest here. You guys are fun. I'll end it with this. I do, like I said earlier, I do work a day job, and I have to get out of it. I'm sick of retail. I don't know. I work with some crazy dudes. I work with this white dude, right? Important to the story, trust me, all right? Work with this white dude, and I work in the back room. And one day I was just cleaning up the back room, right? Just picking up pieces of broken wood, like broken pallets. And I picked up this long piece of broken wood to go throw it in the garbage. And this guy nudges me and goes, looked like somebody found themselves a spear. I was like, what exactly? Like, did he really mean to say some racist shit to me? at work of all places, like I was pissed. It was crazy. I was upset, you know. So I chucked it at him, right? But it only pissed me off more because I nailed him perfectly. I was like, God damn it, that son of a bitch was right. All right, you guys been a lot of fun. You ready for your next comedian? Yes.